Hello everyone, it's Maki. Today, I will introduce you to an important piece of technology from the universal sensory world. It's called the shelf nozzle. This technology first appeared in GUNDAM F91. It is a powerful propulsion system installed in the mobile suits of the enemy organization, Crossbone Vanguard. Have you ever wondered about this? How are the Crossbone Vanguard mobile suits created, which have an overwhelmingly higher performance than those of the Earth's Federation forces? In the universal sensory world, Anaheim Electronics was the company that handled mobile suit development for a very long time. However, Crossbone Vanguard monopolized this new technology, and it was not equipped on the Earth's Federation forces mobile suits developed by Anaheim Electronics. This time, I will examine not only the technical analysis of the shelf nozzle, but also its historical background. Understanding this will enable you to enjoy Universal Century series stories on a much deeper level. If you would like to support the Blue Hole concern, please join the 99 cents per month membership. These funds will be put to good use in protecting peace and stability for those living in space. As a thank you, you will receive a name badge and comment stamps. Now, let's begin the analysis. The shelf nozzle is not just mobile suit technology. Functionally, it is simply a component that achieves innovative high performance. However, its historical background reveals a very different story. The shelf nozzle is widely adopted technology in mobile suits operated by the Crossbone Vanguard. It is installed in commander-use mobile suits such as the Burger Dolos and the Burger Gyros. Its most notable feature is that it is directly connected to the generator. This makes it possible to obtain far more powerful thrust than the propulsion units installed on conventional mobile suits. The shelf nozzle is also designed as a structure that combines multiple thrusters. Operating these thrusters individually makes more advanced and complex attitude control possible. This technique can also be applied to the mobile suit attitude control motion, known as MBAG. The combination of extremely high output and flexible movement was revolutionary. For Earth's Federation forces mobile suits equipped with conventional thrusters, defeating the Burger series was extremely difficult. Some fans even speculated that this thrust could enable aerial combat comparable to that achieved by the Minovsky flight system. Indeed, in GUNDAM F91, the Burger series is depicted performing aerial combat inside a space colony, where gravity exists. Equal or greater aerial combat performance can also be seen from Begin Again, which is equipped with fin nozzles, an advanced version of the shelf nozzle propulsion system. A mobile suit carrying a large number of fin nozzles would likely achieve astonishing acceleration and maneuverability. In addition, shelf nozzles can operate individually and can also be detached. When combined with the powerful thrust, they can be launched towards the enemy like rockets for attack purposes. However, the shelf nozzle itself does not have built-in missile or rocket warhead functions. This is simply one example of a special usage method. Some fans feel that scenes in which shelf nozzles are launched bear a striking resemblance to scenes in which the new GUNDAM uses fin funnels. How did the Crossbone Vanguard shelf nozzle come into existence? There are many mysteries surrounding its creation. Crossbone Vanguard is a subsidiary of a conglomerate known as the Blue Hole concern. The Blue Hole concern originally focused on businesses such as collecting space junk. However, through running the company, its executive Shan host Buho discovered many flaws in the Earth Federation government's social management system. Crossbone Vanguard and the organization Cosmo Barbaria was subsequently created. Shan Host began working behind the scenes to establish an independent organization. In Universal Century 0096, Buho Concern was conducting space debris recovery operations in a space colony owned by Anaheim Electronics. While expanding their business under Anaheim Electronics management, they also carried out operations to recover Neo, Xeon technology left behind at the Space Fortress Access. In Universal Century 106, a vocational training school was opened. The previous year, in Universal Century 105, the uprising led by Mafti Novuarian had taken place. This school became the institution that trained the future soldiers of the Crossbone Vanguard. Talented personnel from the Earth Federation forces was secretly recruited through the school. It is highly likely that the Buho Concern, operating behind the scenes, also conducted test operations of shelf nozzle technology at some point. Given that it was completed as an extremely powerful system, it is possible that it was installed on the mobile suit operated by an excellent pilot and tested in real conditions. The Buho Concern also employed many highly skilled corporate spies. They infiltrated major corporations such as Anaheim Electronics and stole critical classified information. It would not be surprising if they obtained details about the latest weapon systems and equipment, including test and operational plans. For example, if they discovered that a problem had occurred and that a high-output propulsion unit was required, but the necessary parts were in short supply, they could exploit this to test the shelf nozzle under the guise of providing new technology. Thus, Anaheim Electronics and the Earth Federation forces may have ended up cooperating with the Buho Concern, unaware that it would eventually pose a threat. The shelf nozzle was developed into a powerful propulsion system and was refined further. Its shape was refined to create the fin nozzle. Born from the design philosophy of the shelf nozzle, the fin nozzle is an extremely powerful thruster. It was installed on the Big Inagino mobile suit, designed for commanders and operated by the Crossbone Vanguard. The Big Inagino was more than just a commander-use mobile suit. It was also a mobile suit that served as a symbol for Crossbone Vanguard. The concept of assigning a weapon of war, the role of a sacred symbol aligns with the ideology of Cosmo Barbaria. The belief was that as honored beings, nobles have a duty to stand at the front and shed blood alongside their soldiers. Painted a beautiful platinum color, the Big Inagino was created to be a true noble's mobile suit. Now, does the element of all-white, ultra-high-performance mobile suit remind you of anything? That's right! It clearly has something in common with GUNDAM. The Earth Federation forces also tended to treat the GUNDAM as something sacred. Many efforts were made to create GUNDAM as a guardian of the Federation government. However, GUNDAM did not always become something that the Federation could control as they wished. The Federation government became a corrupt organization that prioritized its own rights and wealth while neglecting the lives and well-being of the public. Big Inagina can fairly be called the GUNDAM of Crossbone Vanguard. When it appears in games and similar media, it is often portrayed as a relatively weak mobile suit for balance reasons. However, its actual performance rivals that of GUNDAM F91, and upon completion it achieved the highest performance level of any mobile suit. Now, I would like you to imagine the following scenario. As I mentioned earlier, the Blue Hawk concern has been operating behind the scenes throughout history, developing a wide range of technologies. Begin again at the pinnacle of this technology is a mobile suit that imitates GUNDAM. Depending on your interpretation, you could even call it a fake GUNDAM. What if a GUNDAM-type mobile suit had been used to test shelf nozzle technology? It would be strangely ironic if technology meant for fake GUNDAM were tested by a real one. And what if the pilot of that GUNDAM was someone who was deeply fixated on the idea of the real and fake GUNDAMs? Would you view that scene as tragic? Or would you see it as comedy? The shelf nozzle is a technology born in the shadows of history. Not only is it a powerful new technology, but imagining its symbolic meaning within history can also be a meaningful experience. Thank you for watching until the very end. I will see you again in the next episode.